Good morning. Welcome. This is neat. I look forward to this every year. I don't think I've missed a year of the conference since I've come to Massachusetts. What's that?
I think you've been
Most of them. So I guess that means I must have missed a year. I'm aware that Massachusetts is a leader in many ways, and I'm aware that we are a leader in terms of instantiating through state law the rights and responsibilities for students with disabilities, and that this is the 40th anniversary of that. What I wasn't aware of was the role that the Federation played in that regard, and so that's really neat. And my congratulations to the Federation and to Rich Robeson in particular, who's a great ally and a great advocate for making sure that children with special needs are well served and effectively served in the Commonwealth. I want to just very quickly, I want Alan Ingram to stand. I want Marty Mitnock to stand. Alan and Marty, and Rich introduced them briefly. Alan is a deputy commissioner. His portfolio includes students with special needs. Marty Mitnock heads up our efforts around students with special needs. They are great resources for you. Feel free to call on them and introduce yourself to them. We are, in fact, first in many ways in the nation in Massachusetts when it comes to elementary and secondary education. People who compare the states often note that our students in kindergarten through 12th grade outperform their counterparts across the nation in all the other 49 states. We are second to none in the rate at which our students learn to read well, learn to do math well. The rate at which our students graduate is very strong. But despite those strong indicators of the work that's happening in Massachusetts, there are tremendous gaps. Not all students are enjoying that rate of success. And too often, among the students who are not enjoying that rate of success are students with disabilities, students with special needs. This is an area that I'm very much dedicated to. And it's an area that needs to have the cooperation and the smart intersection of regular education and special education if, in fact, we're going to build on where we've been successful and make sure that more and more of our students, including students with special needs, develop the academic and the life skills that they're going to need to be able to have opportunities when they leave high school. This is work that I'm very much dedicated to, and it brings me to the introduction of our speaker, and I should do this introduction now, because Michael Yudin, who I'm going to bring up shortly, is very much tuned into this agenda. Michael has spent his career in and out of both general education and special education. Michael is the Assistant Secretary for Special Education and Rehabilitation Services at the United States Department of Education. Michael is very much an advocate for the children that we're talking about today, children in this room, children that many of you parents who are in this room are your children, children that many of the educators in this room are serving and trying to do well by. Michael served previously in the United States Senate. He was a legislative director, a senior counsel. He worked on the Health, Education, Labor, and Pension Committee as a senior staff member there. I got to know Michael over the last 4 or 5 years when Michael was responsible for the broad agenda that the the area of elementary and secondary education at the U.S. Department of Education is responsible for. And I was able to interact with Michael as a very aggressive reform agenda was implemented by President Obama and U.S. Secretary of Education Arne Duncan. Many of you have heard of the Race to the Top initiative. Many of you have heard about the U.S. Department of Ed's interest in making sure that our lowest performing schools turn around. You may have heard of the term school improvement grant initiatives. These are a very rapid fire, very impactful set of initiatives that Massachusetts has taken full advantage of, that were rolled out over the last 4 or 5 years. And through that period, much of the responsibility for making sure that happened smoothly and well fell on Michael Yudin. And Michael was someone I could call on as a representative of Massachusetts when I had questions, when I had concerns. He was accessible. But more than anything, he's someone that understands what happens inside of schools. And he's someone who understands what it is that's going to make the experience for our young people with special needs successful or not successful. And in that regard, it's a great pleasure to welcome Michael to Massachusetts and to have the opportunity for you to hear from him. Michael?